Hello everyone, this is a guide for rural players, in which we will be talking about the following subjects: improving your Pokestop and spawn points, routing, how to get each item more frequently and use them more effectively, the best ways to gain XP, stardust and candies, and how to use your stardust more wisely, while still being competitive in gyms, raids and PvP. You can find timestamps for each subject that will be discussed in the description. Now let's get into it. Let me start by saying that the word rural is up for interpretation. This guide is for people who have almost nothing, or are in a position where they have a decent amount, but they feel they still lack something. The first thing we'll be looking at is to see if you can improve your map by adding more Pokestops. You can submit 7 Pokestop requests per 14 days as a level 40 player. Once submitted, it could take days or months before the submission is accepted. So it's best to start early. Now if you are living in a rural area, then it's very possible that you are not level 40 yet. In that case, you can try to contact friends from nearby cities who are level 40 and ask them to help you out. If you are unable to find someone, then you could try your luck in Ingress. Once you reach level 10 in Ingress, you can submit portals yourself, and those portals will also become Pokestops in Pokemon Go. It is not easy to reach level 10 though. People have estimated that reaching level 10 in Ingress is around the same as reaching level 30 or 35 in Pokemon Go. Instead, you can try finding out if there are any active Ingress players in your surroundings who are level 10. Then you could ask them for help. Once you are able to submit Pokestops, take a look at this video in which I tell everything you need to know about submitting Pokestop requests. Then the second thing to look at is if you can improve your spawns, the amount of Pokemon that you see in your surroundings. The amount of Pokemon in your surroundings and the location of the spawns are decided by OpenStreetMap. The great thing about this site is that anyone can make an account and add routes. Take a look at your location on the map and see if any routes are missing. If so, make an account and add them. It will take some time for Pokemon Go to sync with OpenStreetMap, but once that's done, you will see new spawns on that route. Now that you have done all that you can for improving your location with more Pokestops and more spawns, let's continue. Now we are going to take a look at items and how to get the most out of each of them. First, let's look at your balls: Pokeballs, Great Balls and Ultra Balls. Here are some tips that will help you to use less balls and thus save more. Look at the color of the circle for the Pokemon before you catch it. Based on how tough it is to catch it, decide to use stronger balls or raspberries if necessary. Decide on which Pokemon you want to use balls. With your resources, you might not be able to catch every single Pokemon, so make a plan before heading out which Pokemon you want to catch and which Pokemon you just want to shiny check. Use Nanap berries to prevent losing balls to jump and attack animations. Use the set the circle strategy and let the ball hit the Pokemon just after the attack finishes. This also helps you to prevent losing balls from jump and attack animations. In general, I would not advise this on all Pokemon, as it's gonna be a long waiting game, but in certain situations it can be very helpful, like when you only have a few balls left. I made a video about this trick as well. You'll want to do all of the daily quests that will give you balls as a reward. Make sure to open 20 gifts a day. If you lack friends in your surroundings, then you can add people from the internet. I will share a link in the description of where you can find people. Upgrade any gyms in your surroundings to gold. This will grant you more items. Gain controls over the gyms in your area. This will also give 2 extra items per spin. Get your buddy to Great Buddy to activate the catch assist. This way some balls that would have been lost to an attack animation are rebounced by the buddy, thus saving you 1 ball. For the people who have a couple more Pokestops, spin 10 unique Pokestops that are close to each other. The 10th Pokestop will give you bonus items. For your 7-day streak, spin a gym of which you have a golden gym badge. This will multiply your boost in items. Now I want to talk about replenishing your supply by spinning as many stops as possible. To get the most items as possible while playing, you'll be wanting to make the spot with the most Pokestops close to each other the center of your playing field. When you make laps, start and finish at this center, thus allowing you to spin these Pokestops many times. The way spawns work is that they have a window of 1 hour in total, and in that window they have a time frame in which the spawn is active. This is usually 30 minutes, but for some spawn points it can be 1 hour. For example, a spawn point could have a Pokemon spawn from 1912 till 1942. Then from 1942 till 2012 there will be no spawn, and from 2012 to 2042 there will be another spawn, and so on. Each spawn point will have different times where the spawn is active. The bottom line for now is that usually after half an hour there will be new spawns in the center, and after an hour all spawns will be new. So I suggest making half an hour laps, each starting and finishing at the center. By using this strategy you can catch more Pokemon, because you're getting constantly new balls from the pokestops. Next we are going to talk about potions and revives. The same things that apply here are making routes with a center zone, gold gym badges and gym control, spinning your 7-day streak at the golden gym, and opening 20 gifts daily. Furthermore, you can get your buddy to great friends. Besides the catch assist, it will also activate gifts. You can get a couple of revives or potions out of these gifts. Do your daily raid. And lastly, another great way of saving potions and revives is by not using your strongest Pokemon. In cases of easy raids or easy gym battles, try to use Pokemon that you just caught instead. You won't need to revive those because you can throw them away. Next up we are going to talk about making routes. We've already went through routing with a center zone to restock your ball supply. That is option 1 when it comes to routing, but now let's talk about option 2. If you care more about seeing more Pokemon rather than catching a lot of Pokemon, then you should make a route that will give you the most Pokemon encounters. To help you with that, let me explain spawn points a little bit more. So we already went through spawn points with their 1 hour window in which usually 30 minutes a Pokemon spawn is active. But now let's talk about a combination of spawn points. At a certain location, there could be 6 spawn points. At certain times when you get there might be 2 spawns active, at other times 4. In extreme cases, there could be areas where at a certain time there are 6 spawns, while if you get to that same place at another time, there are 0 spawns. A cluster is a series of spawn points close to each other. For each cluster in your surrounding, try to memorize at what time there are the most spawns. Write those times down for each place, and based on that you can make a route which will get you to every cluster at the right time, and thus giving you the most encounters possible in your lab. Understanding spawn points with their time frames and remembering the best time for clusters will help you in getting more Pokemon encounters. The next thing I want to talk about is nearby cities. If you have a city close to you, which is not close enough that you can go there often, but every now and then you go there, then you want to make the most out of these visits. Spin as many pokestops as you can to really stock up your ball supply. If you're getting a bit tired of playing, then use your Go Plus device so you can keep spinning. You could even attach something to your Go Plus that will make it click automatically. So just leave your game open and let your Go Plus do the rest. I would recommend putting the Go Plus device on pokestops only, so you save up all those balls for your area instead of using them right away in the city. Also make use of the gyms in the city to do your daily raid, or at least spin a free pass, and get yourself in some gyms, so you can earn some coins. You get 1 coin per 10 minutes staying in a gym, so if you stay in a gym for 8 hours and 20 minutes, then you can get a maximum of 50 coins if you get kicked out. 50 coins is the maximum for the day. Oh, and if you have a gym in your area, then make sure to get a daily 50 coins out of that. If necessary, you can kick yourself out of the gym with a second account. The second account will, of course, have to be a different team color. Lastly, make sure that you take 3 finished quests with you back to your area. Then you can claim those on 3 separate days for 3 stamps. If you're able to get some coins from gyms, then let's talk about the best ways to spend this. For players who have a city nearby them where they can go to occasionally, I would recommend maxing your item bag. You can reach up to 2,500 items that way, and by doing this, out of each visit to the city, you can get more items. And all those items will give you many more play possibilities in your own area. If all you want to do is catch more Pokemon and you really struggle to get enough balls, then you could buy 200 balls for 800 coins. When it comes to other items, then I would recommend waiting till a good opportunity arises for the Ultra Box or the Adventure Box. Using these combined deals are always going to be cheaper than buying each item separately. Next up is quests. There are many quests out there that will give you a little bit extra of something. Some extra balls, some extra stardust, some extra berries. Try to do as many quests daily as you can. At least make sure that you do one daily quest, so you can get your stamp of the day. When it comes to special research, then there are many great rewards that you can get from them. Sometimes you can earn a serious amount of stardust or XP by completing steps of the special research. When you see such a great reward, you could decide to let it stay there for a while, and later, while running a lucky egg or star piece, you can claim these rewards. This will give you even more XP or stardust. And then lastly, you could decide to not catch the quest encounters. You can stack them up and catch them later for stardust or candy. We'll get back to that later. The next thing we are going to talk about is XP. The best way of earning XP is increasing your friendship with all of your friends. Even if you struggle with sending gifts yourself, it is easy to open 20 gifts daily. And as discussed before, you can find as many friends as you need on the internet. Getting to great friends will give you 10,000 XP, getting to ultra friends will get you 50,000 XP, and getting to best friends will give you 100,000 XP. Plus, you can double each of those if you use a lucky egg. This is also the best moment to use a lucky egg. Try to gather a couple of friends who need one more day to progress their friendship level, activate the lucky egg, and do them all at once. The only downside is that the other person might want to use a lucky egg as well, and if you do not have contact with each other, then you could both be playing the waiting game. So often you see friendships stuck at 2 days before the next level, with neither one of them wanting to open a gift. Therefore, if possible, try to contact these people so you can coordinate the time to progress in level. Other ways of earning XP is making use of your 7-day streak, catching Pokemon. When it comes to catching Pokemon, you want to try to catch it with the first ball. This will give you extra XP. Also use a curveball and try to hit the ball in the circle. You will get the most XP for excellent, after that for great, and then for nice. You could aim for trying to catch every Pokemon in the first ball with a curved great throw. More ways of earning XP is through the research breakthrough, from special research rewards, from raids, and for evolving Pokemon. Make good use of your lucky eggs to earn as much XP as you can in a short time frame. So let's say you have gathered a couple of friends, you activated your lucky egg, and you gained the XP from the friends. Now you probably still have a lot of time left on your lucky egg, and you can use that for evolving, claiming some special research rewards, claiming your research breakthrough reward, and catching some Pokemon if there's any time left. The Silver Road has made a list of all the possible ways to earn XP in Pokemon Go. It also shows how much XP you earn per different action. I will put a link down in the description. Let's continue with raids. Doing raids can give you many rewards like XP, rare candies, golden raspberries, TMs, potions, revives, and of course a useful Pokemon. When doing raids, you want to gain as many balls as possible. Not only for catching the Pokemon, but also for the rewards. The amount of primary balls that you get will determine the amount of rewards. To get more balls, you want to be raiding with a best friend. This could be your second account if you have no one else to play with. It is now possible on some devices to split the screen and have 2 accounts playing at the same time. Furthermore, you want to have team control over the gym you are raiding at. That will give you 2 extra balls. And if you are with several people, then use the best counters that you can. What also determines the amount of rewards that you get is the level of the raid. So you want to focus on higher level raids. If you are alone, then try to go at least for level 3 raids. If possible, use a second account as well and go for level 4 raids. Level 4 raids will also give you a guaranteed charge TM, by the way. And of course, if possible, you should try to go for the legendary raids, level 5. Another important note about raids is that you should always use your daily pass. Because even if you fail a raid, you will still get 1000 stardust. If you don't like wasting time in the lobby, then you can just force close the game, do some other stuff in the game, and a couple of minutes later you will click on the gym again, you will get back into the lobby screen and you can enter the fight or just let the timer run down. Make sure you use trash Pokemon so you don't waste any revives and potions. If you have a city nearby and you would like to do some raids there, then try to get in contact with those people. This way you can coordinate times and places for the raids. If you struggle to find anyone, then try using the Silver Road map. I will put a link down in the description. This map will show all the group chats that are in cities around you. Let's talk about another item, lure modules. Lure modules are a nice way to get a few extra spawns. Wait for an event that really gets your interest to use them. A community day is a great example. If you have 1 or 2 pokestops in your area that are protected from the rain, then you could decide to save up all your lure modules and wait for a rainy day during an important event that you really want to play. Then you can use your lure modules on those pokestops and still get some spawns. Let's continue with incense. Again, one of the best moments to use an incense would be during a community day. This will give you a few extra spawns to increase your chances of getting a shiny. And usually those extra spawns are combined with a bonus as well, like extra candies, extra stardust or extra XP. Now let's discuss all of the berries. Nana berries are great for slowing down Pokemon. This way you don't waste balls to attack and jump animations. Pineapples are great for extra candies. You could either use those for Pokemon that you want to power up for PvP or raids or gym battles. You could use them for Pokemon that you want to evolve for the Pokedex, or you could use them for Pokemon that you want to evolve for XP, like Pidgey. You could also decide to hold on to those pineapples until a double candy event comes, and then you can use your large stack of pineapple berries more effectively. Raspberries you can use for tough Pokemon in the wild. Use silver pineapples for Pokemon that are tough but you still want to get extra candies from it. You can use golden raspberries for either very tough Pokemon, for raid bosses, or for feeding your Pokemon in a gym. Let's say you already got your 50 coins of the day, but you still have a Pokemon in a gym. You could decide to keep that Pokemon strong, so you can get it back the next day for another 50 coins. When it comes to Nana berries, pineapples and raspberries, then you can also use them for feeding Pokemon in a gym. You will get 20 stardust for each berry. So if you have any berries left, then this is a great way to use them. Definitely never throw berries away. Next up are eggs. Hatching eggs is not only nice for getting good Pokemon, with extra candies, but it's also a great opportunity to earn some stardust. If you really like hatching eggs and you hatch many at the same time, then it could be worth it to use a Starbeast. If you struggle with getting eggs from local Pokestops, then you can always get 7km eggs from gifts. Then there's one more item that I want to quickly address, that is TMs. We already talked about getting a guaranteed charge TM from a level 4 raid, but raids in general are a good way to earn TMs. You can also get them from PvP. Make sure you do your daily battles against your team leader and your 3 battles against a friend or your second account. And then, if you make enough kilometers, then you also want to try and do the Go Battle League battles. If you could win 2 out of 5, then you get an item, which could be a TM. When it comes to candies, then we have already established that using pineapple berries will give you extra candies, but there are more things that can help you out. One of them is feeding berries to a Pokemon in your gym. Sometimes the Pokemon you fed will give a candy. So make sure that you feed a Pokemon of which you would like to get a candy. Another way of getting candies is through trading. For a normal trade you will get 1 candy, but if there is a 10km difference between the 2 Pokemon, then you will get 2 candies, and if there's a 100km difference, then you will get 3 candies. To get Pokemon from far away, use 7km eggs. By opening gifts from people from far away, you will receive eggs that have a location that is far away from yours. Hatch those eggs and then trade them. Getting 3 candies from each trade is a nice way to stock up on candies. When it comes to Pokemon in the wild, then you will get 3 candies for a first evolution stage, 5 candies for a second evolution stage, and 10 candies for a third evolution stage. Each of those will get doubled by a pineapple. In raids you can always use a pineapple on a shiny, because it has a 100% catch rate. Now let's quickly run through all the evolution items. You can get Sinnoh Stones from PvP battles, either as a reward for winning 2 battles in the Go Battle League, for winning a battle against your team leader, or you can get them out of your 3 regular battles, against a friend or a second account. You might get one from a research breakthrough. The Unova Stone you can get from a research breakthrough, as an adventure sync reward, and battling against Team Rocket leaders. Then you have the Sunstone, the King's Rock, the Metal Coat, the Dragon Scale and the Upgrade. There's a slight chance of getting these from a Pokestop spin, or out of your 7-day streak, from spinning a Pokestop. In Pokemon Go, I would say that Stardust is probably the most important resource, even more important than XP. It is very expensive to power up your Pokemon, and unlock second moves for PvP. Let's talk about some ways of earning a little bit more Stardust. When facing wild Pokemon, a first evolution stage will give you 100 Stardust, a second evolution stage will give you 300 Stardust, and a third evolution stage 500. That is not including the weather boost. With a weather boost you get 25% extra Stardust. So first, try to prioritize the third evolution Pokemon in the wild, after that the second, and for first evolution stages try to pick the weather boosted ones first. If you happen to see a Chameko or Audino in the wild, then make sure you catch that, because a Chameko gives you 1000 Stardust and an Audino 2100 Stardust. You want to keep your daily streak going, so make sure you catch at least one Pokemon every day. Then on the 7th day you get a fair amount of extra Stardust. Do a quest every day for your daily stamp, so that you can get your research breakthrough every 7 days, which has a Stardust reward. You'll be wanting to do your daily PvP battles, battle against the team leader in the Master League, and do your 3 battles against a friend or your second account. Also try to do as many league battles as you can, because you can earn some extra Stardust for those. Furthermore, before claiming your rewards, you could wait until a moment where you use a star piece. Check all the quests from the pokestops in your area and complete the ones that will give you Stardust. And open your 20 gifts daily. Use your daily raid pass, save up your Stardust rewards from special research and claim them later with a star piece. Use a Melton box for extra spawns. Battle Rocket Grunts and Rocket team leaders. If possible, try to get 50 kilometers during the week so you can get a nice bonus from the adventure sync. You could save up many balls for a double or triple Stardust event, so that when that event starts you have the maximum amount of balls ready. And you can save up encounters from research, so you can catch all those during a triple or double Stardust event. When it comes down to star pieces, then the best moment to use them is during a triple Stardust event or a double Stardust event. As discussed before, a triple Stardust Community Day is a great moment. Things that you could combine in a star piece include catching Pokemon, claiming rewards from special research, adventure sync rewards, which always come 9 AM in the morning on Mondays, egg hatching, stocked up quest encounters, raids, feeding berries in the gym, opening gifts, claiming the rewards from Go Battle League, and claiming rewards from normal research that includes Stardust bonuses. Plan your star piece at a time where you can get the most out of it. For example, 9 AM Monday mornings are a nice moment. If you have walked a lot the last week, then you can get the Adventure Sync bonus. You can time your eggs that they will hatch within that half an hour as well. Do a raid nearby, catch some stocked up Pokemon and some in the wild, feed some berries in the gym, open your 20 gifts, and you could even time your 7-day streak so that the 7th day is on Monday. Then if you combine everything, you can get a lot of Stardust in just 30 minutes, and you can get the maximum out of your star piece. When it comes to the 7-day streak, there's one more thing I want to talk about. During double or triple Stardust events, you can get a big boost from your 7-day streak. Some people have got a 3rd evolution stage Pokemon during a triple Stardust event as their 7-day streak, and they were able to get around 15,000 from just one catch. So try to make your 7-day streak Pokemon a higher evolution form, and during community days, try to make your first catch of the day during the 3 hours where the triple Stardust is active. These are easy ways to earn a little bit of extra Stardust. When it comes to powering up Pokemon, the more important thing, rather than earning Stardust, is probably saving Stardust. So now we are going to look at ways of powering up Pokemon that will not cost too much, but are still very effective, and thus saving you a lot of Stardust. One great way of saving Stardust is by getting lucky Pokemon. Once a Pokemon is lucky, then the cost of powering up the Pokemon are reduced by 50%, and if you can trade high level Pokemon to become lucky, it's even better. Because if you can get a level 35 good Pokemon, then the cost to max a Pokemon out are around 50,000 Stardust. For trading rare Pokemon, you could try to become lucky friends first. Then your next trade is a guaranteed lucky with that friend. Another way of saving some Stardust is by getting purified Pokemon. The chances of getting a good IV purified Pokemon are actually really good. And once purified, all the Stardust costs are reduced by 10%. If you're going to spend Stardust for unlocking second moves, then for certain Pokemon make sure you unlock the move as a baby rather than the adult version. An example of this is Lucario. For Lucario, the costs are 75,000 and 75 candies to unlock the second move, but for Riolu, the costs are 10,000 Stardust and 10 candies. So you want to unlock a second move first and then evolve. The next thing I want to talk about is the IVs of Pokemon. The main goal for many players is to get the strongest possible IV Pokemon. But are IVs really that important? IVs are a small amount of extra points given over the base stats of a Pokemon. IV stands short for individual value, and you can get between 0 to 15 points extra per 3 stats, attack, defense, and HP or stamina. As an example, we will take a look at Dialga. The maximum stats of a Dialga include 275 attack, 211 defense, and 205 stamina. This includes the maximum IVs. But let's say you get a 13, 14, 10 IV Dialga. Then the stats will still be 273 attack, 210 defense, and 200 stamina. So you can see that overall the difference is very small. This is why in many cases it is better to power up lucky Pokemon from a high level with decent IVs, rather than powering up Pokemon with really high IVs but of a low level. When we look at raid counters, then it's better to have a couple of really good Pokemon, rather than having one Pokemon that is the absolute best, but having no extra counters. It is possible that for the same Stardust, you can power up 4 high-level lucky Pokemon, instead of 1 regular, low-level but good IV Pokemon. Another way of saving Stardust is by not fully powering up your Pokemon. When you reach level 30, then for each extra power-up you will gain less extra CP than before, while the costs are getting higher. Around level 30 your Pokemon has reached around 90% of its potential already, and that for around 40% of the total Stardust cost. And usually you did not pay the 40% completely, as you started already on a higher level. So you could decide to power up a couple of Pokemon to level 30 rather than one to level 40. And what would be even better is if you can catch level 30 or higher Pokemon in the wild and evolve those. Then you don't need to spend anything at all, just give it the right move and you can use it as a counter. You can catch Pokemon up to level 35 in the wild. One more important factor for powering up your Pokemon or not are breakpoints. A breakpoint is the point where your Pokemon's fast attack deals 1 more damage to a specific opponent. You can use a breakpoint calculator to figure out where that point is. GamePress has an amazing calculator. I will leave the link in the description. Now let's go for an example. Let's say you are using a Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch against an Alolan Raichu. If your Tyranitar has 15 attack IVs, then it will reach a breakpoint at level 29.5. For 13 or 14 attack IVs, it will reach the breakpoint at level 30. This is the maximum amount of damage your Tyranitar can do with a Bite. Powering up your Pokemon further than level 29.5 will not increase the damage of Bite. So therefore you could decide to leave the Pokemon at level 29.5. If you are going to use your Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch against another opponent, then you will have to look at the breakpoint calculator again. Maybe against the next opponent you will reach a breakpoint at level 32. Then you could decide to power up the Tyranitar 2 more levels, so it deals more damage with Bite. If you are raiding with a best friend, then make sure to include the best friend bonus in the calculator. Powering up your Pokemon based on breakpoints can save you some Stardust while still doing a lot of damage. Now let's head over to PvP. When it comes to powering up Pokemon for PvP, then there are a couple of differences compared to powering up for Pokemon for raids and battles in gyms. The same things that apply are lucky Pokemon and purified Pokemon, but you don't need to look at breakpoints. In the Master League you want to fully power up your Pokemon, and you want 15 attack IVs. This is important in mirror matches. When 2 Pokemon should be attacking at the same time, then the highest attack IV will get preference to attack first. In some matches, like Togekiss against Togekiss, you definitely want to be the one to get the first attack out. For the Ultra League and the Great League, it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to the attack IVs. In the Great League and the Ultra League, you are usually using Pokemon that you cannot fully power up, because the maximum CP of the Pokemon exceeds the maximum CP of the league. For the Pokemon that are limited, you usually want to get the lowest attack IVs and the highest stamina and defense IVs. So 0, 15, 15 is usually the best. Again, it's a bit complicated, but the idea is that this way you can get them to higher levels and therefore increasing all 3 of the base stats. If you want to know how good the PvP IVs are of your Ultra League or Great League Pokemon, then you can either use Pokegenie or you can go to Go Stadium. I will put the link in the description. Select your Pokemon with its IVs and you can see how it compares to other versions of that Pokemon. It will give you a rating. First means that it's the best IV version of that Pokemon for that league. Power up the best version you can find of a specific Pokemon. A nice way of saving Stardust for the Great and Ultra League is by using Pokemon that when evolved are just below the CP cap for that league. You could use an app like Pokegenie to figure out how high the CP will get after the evolution. For strong Pokemon with baby versions, try to unlock the second move as a baby before evolving. And when it comes to maxing out Pokemon for the Master League, you could combine this with raid counters or gym attackers or defenders. For example, if you max out a Snorlax, you could use it in PvP and as a defender. If you max out a Machamp, you could use it for attacking in gyms, in raids and in PvP. If you already have Pokemon maxed out for raids, defense in a gym or gym attackers, then look on the internet if this Pokemon could be used for PvP as well. GamePress is a great site that could help you with this. Now let's take a closer look at each league. To spend less Stardust for each league, let's look at the best Pokemon for those leagues with the lowest costs. We'll call these budget teams. Teams that perform well but cost a little less Stardust. For the Great League, a budget team could be Altaria, Venusaur and Swampert. Each 3 of these Pokemon cost 10,000 to unlock a second move, and they are easily found in the wild, meaning that you could find a version to get lucky, or you could find a version that when evolved is just below the CP cap of that league. Other options in the Great League are Azumarill and Meganium. Continuing with the Ultra League, a great budget team could be Venusaur, Swampert and Charizard. Again, all 3 of these Pokemon only cost 10,000 to unlock a second move, and all 3 of them are easy to find in the wild. Therefore, it should be easier to get a lucky Pokemon for these, or to find one that when evolved is just below the max CP of that league. Other options for the Ultra League include Togekiss, Snorlax, Typhlosion and Gyarados. When it comes to the Master League, then it will get a little bit more expensive. Your options are to buy a second charge move for a Pokemon that you have already maxed out. Think of Pokemon like Tyranitar, Metagross, Machamp, Rhyperior, Dragonite, Gyarados, Mamoswine, and others. And then defensively you have Snorlax and maybe Milotic. The best budget picks for the Master League are probably Swampert and Gyarados, because for both of them it's easy to obtain a high level lucky, and the cost for the second move are only 10,000. Unfortunately, you cannot really use both in the same team, because they are the same type. Togekiss is a great Pokemon to have in your Master League team. It's usually very effective, and it costs 10,000 as a Togepi to unlock a second move. If you could get a lucky Togepi, then it will be even better. Another option in the Master League is Venusaur. I would say Venusaur is not as good as the other Pokemon, but it's still very decent and easy to obtain. A team like Togekiss, Swampert and Venusaur could perform pretty well in the Master League. Don't forget that having the right moveset is very important. GamePress can guide you on this. I will share a link to GamePress in the description. Search a Pokemon in there and they will tell you all you need to know about the movesets. The last tip that I can give you is to stay up to date. I will give you an example. Let's say you've been grinding Magikarp candies for 2 years, and now you can finally evolve your first Magikarp. You do this, and the next day you progress in your Mew special research to find out that your next task is to evolve a Magikarp. So now you probably have to wait another 2 years. If you are up to date, you could have known about this task beforehand and thus evolve your Magikarp later. GoHub is a fantastic site. It will tell you everything you need to know about what is happening in Pokemon Go. Make sure to check the news in there often, and this way you should be up to date about everything that is going on. Other sites that you can use to stay up to date include the Silph Road, Leaduck, GamePress, the app GoTo, and Go Ranger. Alright, now that we have discussed all the topics, let's do a quick recap. The first thing we looked at was adding new pokestops and new spawn points. Then we looked at 2 different routing methods. We went through all the possibilities in the game to gain balls, and talked about ways of preventing to lose balls. For potions and revives we did the same, with a few extra tips. We've discussed how to gain coins, and what would be the best way to use them. Then we went through all the bonuses from quests, special research, and your daily streak for the research breakthrough. Another subject was gaining XP and how to use your lucky eggs effectively, the different type of rewards for raids, and why you should always use your daily pass, the best moments to use lure modules and incense, all the different sorts of berries and the best way to use them, how to get eggs and the bonus they give, the different sort of ways to get TMs, getting more candies from Pokemon in all sorts of ways, how to get every single evolution item. Then we covered Stardust extensively, first all the ways to get more Stardust, how to get a maximum out of a star piece, and how to save Stardust by powering up your Pokemon more wisely. To finish it off, we looked at some sites that can help you to stay up to date. This concludes this guide. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, comment below, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. I will see you in the next video.